Hi, welcome back to my channel, and this is a sound off on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I'm sorry, but I still have the unpopular opinion. I still believe that Kenya did too much. I think she went too far. I'm not okay with what she did. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I am. I'm just not. But shout out to Team Twirl. Team Twirl, they've been holding Kenya down. And I mean, kudos to you, girl. But I still don't think what you did was right. I can't even fake it. Okay, so the episode opens up. Y'all saw it. Britt shooting a scene at home with her little puppy and her husband. And I still think her husband is a jerk, but I think that might just be part of that's just who he is. He's just mean. But it seemed like he was being a little, soft towards her. He wasn't being a complete a-hole this episode. And I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people felt like Britt was overdoing it this episode. Like, oh my gosh. And it's just like, I don't think she was overdoing it. Was she playing up a little bit? Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know that lady. I'm not inside of her head. But I just think that nobody would want that done to them. That was the whole gag of it. Like, nobody would want those type of pictures of them displayed in that manner. Nobody would want this to happen to them. So if she's crying and she's all over the place, damn. Y'all know what y'all are remind... I'm sorry, but this very much feels like Potomac season 5. Where Monique put her hands on Candace, and then because Candace was crying about it, people got mad at Candace, like, stop crying. And it was just like, did you get your head bashed on the table? No. Were your intimate pictures put out there? No. Did she sign a release to have that out there? Yes, but not like this. It was never intended for this. So if she's upset about this, y'all can't tell that girl not to be upset. Y'all want her to not be as upset because y'all want to manage her emotions. Y'all want to minimize what Kenya did and the punishment that Kenya's gonna face. And that's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. Like, Kenya, you was big dog. You did what you did. Whatever the consequences are, they just are. Whatever the fallout is, that's just what it is. You chose to do this. You sat up there. You planned everything out. You chose to do it. And if the fallout was much bigger than you were expecting, then that's just what it was. Everyone is saying that Britt can't get mad at what Kenya's response was. Like, she started with Kenya and she got what she got. She should have left Kenya alone. And that's fair. I can't disagree with that. But if that is the logic that we're going to go with, then Kenya also has to accept that she's been fired. If she's losing out on money, if she's losing out on her job, whatever the consequences are for what she chose to do, that's just what it is as well. It's like, what are we doing here? You chose to do that, and this is what happened. A lot of times, that's just, you get what you get. Like, wasn't like she was just sitting there minding her business and she got fired. No, like, you did what you did. And now this is the reaction to your reaction. Y'all all made bad decisions, and this is what it is. Okay, so this meetup, I think, was at Shamia's house. This was really nice. It was a cute little spread. Everybody there talking about what happened. And, again, like, what Portia said, that was Kenya's choice to twirl on the hill. And then Kelly was like, yeah, she's still there. She never left. I really feel like Kenya got herself caught up in some little girl mess. Kenya, you're in your 50s. And I'm not trying to shame you because I want to get to 50 one day, okay? And beyond that, and beyond that. So I'm not shading you for your age, but I just feel like you're in your 50s, you're hanging out with these girls that are in their 30s, and you got caught up in a mess. You're too smart to act like you don't know what's up. You know you went too far, and you don't want to own that. And it just is what it is. Them girls told you to do that mess, and you're the only one that's going to have to deal with the repercussions. And I hate that for you because it's just messy. It's just messy. All last week and this week, it's just been mess. I just hate that for her because it's just like, come on, Kenya. Like, I think I spoke on this last video. I said a lot last video. I don't remember everything I said, but I think I said something about it. And if I didn't, well, here it is. So I feel like Kenya been on this show, what, 10 seasons, I believe? And she was the villain for majority of the time on this show. And you look up and you're like, damn, Nene got X, Y, and Z done. Candy got all the stuff she got done. We ain't got to go through her list because we ain't got time for all of that because she's done a lot of stuff, you know. Shout out to Candy. You look at all these women and everything that they were able to accomplish while being on the show and all the things that they were able to gain. And I think Kenya looked up and was like, dang, I need to get certain things together. Her being a villain has messed with her public image. It does make her unlikable to some people. She's a businesswoman. She's opening a salon. People need to like you. People need to want to be around you. So I understand how annoyed she was that Britt was coming for her and that production was setting her up to continue being the villain this season. I totally get that. But if that was your goal, was to like soften your image with people and be more likable and, you know, be in your soft girl era, you tired of being the villain, you tired of them coming for you, you tired of the, you know, the back and forth, and you just want to build your empire on this platform, why would you choose to do what you did to Britt? And I'm not saying you had to baby Britt and coddle her and be her best friend and be her sister, but it really would have been nice. It would have been nice if Kenya would have been like, look, game recognized game. When I came on the show, they made me be the villain. They made me go after Cynthia. They made me go after Nene. It would have been nice if Kenya would have had like a woman-to-woman game, recognized game kind of conversation with Britt. And just be like, look, I could tell the little girl's coming after me because she wants her moment and whatever. And just be like, and just ask her straight up, like, Britt, what's the problem? Every time we see each other, it's always something. I'm trying to be nice to you, but I don't understand what you're upset about. Like, you could have disarmed this girl with ease. Because at the end of the day, you are Kenya Moore. You could have easily disarmed her. Even if production is telling her, go after Kenya, you need your moment, you need your moment. You could have disarmed her with just, Britt, I want to know what's going on with you. How are you doing? Are you okay? You know, I don't understand what's going on between us, but I don't have anything against you. I'm happy you're here. Like, you could have played the pageant nice girl and Britt would have been, she would have fallen in line. She would have been kissing your ass, like literally. She really would have been. So your choice to take it to the level that you took it, to the extreme that you took it, I don't feel like it's 100% on Kenya. I really do feel like production might have known what was going on. I also feel like her new friends played a part as well. Akila and Ming, y'all look real suspicious. Y'all look like y'all got y'all friend in some trouble. I think y'all limited understanding of what exactly Revenge P is, it bit y'all in the butt. And now everybody is trying to cover their behinds. Everybody is trying to do damage control. Everybody releasing statements. And luckily for you guys, Kenya has a really solid fan base. But if Britt wanted to really take it to hell with y'all, I think y'all might be in some trouble. I really do, because all the statements that everybody was releasing last week, I ain't no lawyer, I ain't no DA, I ain't no private investigator, I'm not a lawmaker, I'm not a police officer, but I feel like the statement that Ming Lee made, I believe you told on yourself. I believe you told on everybody. I believe this was a group project and everybody is scrambling. I don't know. It's just not a good look. We love these shows. I love this show. I love all these shows, but I feel like sometimes we get carried away. they get carried away, and we as a viewing audience, we also get carried away. And we need to remember that these are real people's lives. Like, I just don't feel like it should ever be all of this. Y'all come on this show, okay, y'all might have an embarrassing moment here, you might have a slip up here, you might say the wrong thing here, y'all butt heads, but you should never, I don't feel like nobody should be degraded to this extent. It's too much. And I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this. It's getting weird. Like, all the statements that kept coming out, like Ming had to come out and defend herself and say, oh, I didn't give Kenya the evidence. I think you led Kenya straight to it. I think it's weird how, and I like Ming, but I'm always going to call out nonsense when I hear it and when I see it. Ming said, those images of you are still online to this day. I think she shouldn't have said that, because so many people have been diligently searching for these images of Brit and cannot find it. They keep running into brick walls. How is it that you know? How do you even know that they're still online to this day? That would mean you went looking for it. You searched it recently to see if it was still there. And I have to ask, why would you even do that if you don't have a problem with Brit? And I'm talking as if you guys read the statement. If you haven't, please go read it, because I can't look it up. I don't have the time to do that. But basically, in Ming's statement, she said a lot of things. And a lot of what she said, she contradicted herself. I think she should have just not said nothing. At this moment, everybody is trying to cover their ass, and it just looks real suspicious. It's just like all of y'all are guilty. Also, Portia, she started her YouTube and caused a disturbance as well. And I think somewhere along the lines, Portia claims that someone on the cast provided Kenya these images. At this point, it's looking like a group project to me, okay? Several people's hands was involved in making this soup, okay? It was several cooks in the kitchen holding a spoon. It wasn't just one source. But pretty much to bring it back to Ming claims that she don't have an issue with Brit, because people are saying that the reason they don't like each other is they used to both date Rick Ross, or they've dated several other people in the past, whatever. Ming says that's not true. She don't have a problem with Brit. She don't even want to be associated with that. She don't like that narrative. If she was to give Kenya anything, she would give her the stuff that's in her phone from 2011. And she still got them in her phone, and nobody's ever seen it. She didn't do anything like that. Stop blaming her. She needs to blame the internet, because the internet told her business. Why are you telling us that you have actual revenge P in your phone to this day from 2011? Why are you also telling us that you guys all go to the same weird parties? Because what party were you at that you saw Brit Edie doing something questionable and you pulled out your phone and started recording it? You made yourself look weird too. It's just like, this was not a good look. This was not a good look. It just seemed like, Kenya, you hung out with these young girls and you got caught up in some young girl nonsense. The whole thing just stinks. It's just ugly, and it's nasty, and it's dirty. And good thing Kenya has a solid fan base to support her, because this whole thing is just, ugh, I don't like it. But yeah. Anyways, back to this link up at Shamia's house. The only thing I really want to speak on was Portia's, she was crying because of Simon. She said that, or Angela asked her if Simon was just like, hey, let's just forget about everything, let's make it work, would you take him back? Portia's like, no, because he involved her mom, he disrespected her mom, and she's not gonna have that. And then he also disregarded her child. I already told y'all at the top of this season that I'm really not here for I'm not here for the foolishness. I'm not here for Portia's sob stories. I'm just not. Maybe she's telling the truth. I don't know. I don't even really care. I'm with her with the don't disrespect my mama. That part I'm with. I'm with her 1000%. Don't disrespect my mother. My mama ain't nobody for you to play with, okay? You go find something else to play with, not my mama. So I'm here for her with that. But then I also have to think, Miss Diane and Simon, ain't they the same age? That's why he not respecting her as the mother-in-law, because he the same age as his mother-in-law. Allegedly. Because he ain't about to come for me, okay? I'm just reporting what was on the show, Simon. Save your tweets, save your Instagram posts for someone else. Don't do that to me, because I'm just saying what's there. Now, as for his treatment to Pilar, I don't really know how I feel about that. I don't like when people mess with kids. I don't like when people are mean to kids. I don't like it because children are innocent. Like, you only get to be a child for such a little time, and it's just like that time should be protected. Kids should always be protected. Kids are off limits. But I can't even really side with Portia on that either for several reasons. Number one reason, you introduced that little girl to that man way too soon. You had her in his life. You had him in her life way too soon. It was just too much. You made the whole world feel uncomfortable when you was posting a picture of her in his lap. We didn't like that. Nobody liked that. We was warning you through the TV, girl, but you ain't listen. So, I mean, I guess it's a good talking point, because I think that that's something a lot of people forget. You think as long as the person is nice to your child and caring to your child and they're safe and they're not a weirdo, that all is good. But all is not good, because when you introduce your child to someone else, especially, let's say your husband, you get a new man, you introduce your child to that new man. That man has children. So now your child is used to him. Your child is used to his children, maybe his nieces and nephews, his extended family members. And then y'all break up, and now this child had all these connections to all these people, and those connections are severed. That's why I don't support introducing your children to everybody you talk to. I mean, she was married to him and they lived together, so it wasn't like she was going to be able to keep her daughter away from him. But see, this is just a lesson for the rest of y'all, because some of y'all do this without marriage. But yeah, also, when they were breaking up, this was what, last summer? This was this time last year. It was so very messy, because wasn't there a story about, I think Simon had left to go to Dubai or something. His kids were still at the house with Portia, and then Portia neglected the kid. Like, I don't like all this foolishness with the kids. And you know, one thing I don't like, another thing I don't like about this is, we got to stop thinking that we're better than the next person. I think that is like, if you don't learn nothing from Housewives, that should be the one thing that everyone takes away. We got to stop thinking that we're better than the next woman. Oh, I'm smarter than her. I'm more educated than her. I'm more successful than her. My body looks better than hers. My face is prettier than hers. We got to stop doing that, because, and that's a problem. That is a problem amongst all franchises. Y'all always want to think y'all better than the next, and y'all not better than the next. Fallon was low down for getting pregnant by another man while she was married to Simon. That was low down. I don't feel like it's talked about enough, but that was nasty, girl. Like, did you always know who your baby daddy was? That was just so messy. But that's not the point. The point is, Fallon had 3 boys, I believe, right? She has 3 sons. Simon was in those boys' life. I believe when she did her interview, that was one of her gripes, is that Simon was neglecting the kids, right? So, Portia, girl, if you saw that, what made you think you were different? What made you think your child was going to get a different treatment than Fallon's children? Because you didn't embarrass him and get pregnant by somebody else? That doesn't matter. The man is who he is. He was such a jerk, and he was so annoying, that a lot of people tend to forget that Fallon cheated on him and got pregnant while married to him, because he was so mean and so nasty the way he spoke of her. He was like, oh yeah, I keep a mover company on speed dial. Remember he told that to Dennis? And now you're sitting up here crying, acting like you're surprised by his actions? Girl, bye. I'm gonna need you to stop it. I'm gonna need you to stop. You're gonna have to wrap this on up. I mean, girl, get your sympathy where you can, I guess, but you're gonna have to wrap this up, because I don't have the patience to even pretend that I don't feel nothing. The only thing that I feel is don't disrespect my mama. That's it. But you should have known this man wasn't no good. Do y'all remember there was some friction going on between Simon and Dennis? I don't remember the root of it, but there was something going on between them on social media. And there was, I think Simon made an Instagram post where he said he was going to teach Pilar how to avoid F-boys. And I felt like that was a direct shot at Dennis because there was some back and forth there. And I guess at the moment, Portia, you didn't have a problem with that, but I would have had a problem with that. If you want to be petty with my ex, be petty with my ex. Don't involve my child while you're being petty with my ex. If you got something to say to him, say something to him. But like for him to say, oh yeah, I'm going to teach Pilar how to avoid F-boys, that never sat right with me. So I don't have too much empathy, sympathy, anything for Portia. Like, girl, we tried to warn you and you ain't listen. I will say, though, that this episode was really cute. There was a lot of... people were saying that this season isn't good. This season is really, really good. Like, I don't like all the nastiness, but this is a really good season because, baby, when I tell you 13, 14, and 15 was beyond boring... Like, I like this season so far. I don't think it's going to go bad. Like, I know some people are going to hate and people are going to boycott, and that happens. But I really am enjoying this season. There's a lot. There is a lot going on here. I don't know. That's just my observation. So, Kelly and her daughter, they're doing yoga and they're having a conversation. I just love Kelly. She's my girl. I like her. I'm sorry. Kelly, please don't embarrass me. But so far, I really like you. The scene with her daughter, yeah. I think it was real life. I think that we as humans, we make decisions, we make mistakes, we do things, and if you have children, it's going to touch your kids. To hear her daughter say, yeah, I don't want to get married because I don't want to end up like you, that I winced a little bit. I did. I was just like, damn. But that's a real feeling. That's a very real feeling. I mean, that's just life, though. We've all watched our parents endure certain things. We're just kind of like, I don't want to ever have to experience that. And every time we hear Kelly's story, it's like it's another layer of what the hell? What the hell? Like, every time, it's just like, damn, that happened too. What the hell? Like, did she tell us he was in jail? I think I must have missed that part. So much has been happening. I don't know. Maybe I missed that the first time around. I know she did say he threatened her in court, so maybe that's why he was in jail. Maybe I'm tripping. She said he threatened her in court. Is he from Maryland too? Or is she just the one from Maryland? Because I know she's from Baltimore, right? Child, it doesn't even matter. That's not my business. But yeah, I do like the scene with Kelly and her daughter, Chloe. That's her name. I wonder how that made Kelly feel. I know that had to hurt. I know that sometimes when, moms have to turn their feelings off when their children tell them things because you want them to tell you, the real. And I know sometimes, like, I know I probably said some things that hurt my mama's feelings a lot of times. Like, damn. This has hurt Kelly's feelings. I know it is. She's like, I don't want to end up like you. I don't want to go through what you went through. It's just like, damn, I would feel so bad. I would feel like I damaged my child because I wanted to be married to this crazy man. One day we're going to have to unpack what really went on in Kelly's marriage. Like, was he always crazy or did he just become crazy towards the end? Like, we need to know, Kelly. We got questions. We got questions, sis. But, I just like her energy. I just like she don't seem like any of this is getting her down. She's just like, you know what, whatever it is, we just gonna have to handle it. We gonna deal with it. And I like people like that. I do. So yeah, I'm gonna send good vibes to Kelly and her girls because there's a lot going on over there. As for Drew and her husband, they're getting on my nerves. I don't really know how to take anything that Drew says or her husband says. Like, they just both full of shit, in my opinion. I didn't like how he was talking to her. I think this was the first time I actually kind of felt bad for Drew when it comes down to Ralph. Because a lot of times I feel like they acting. This actually seemed real. And when they were in the car, when she was in the car with Allison, and Allison was like, girl, he on one today, or whatever they was saying. Drew said something about normally when they give him his time in the house, he, I guess, waits for Drew to leave before he comes upstairs. I don't know why he came upstairs this time. You don't know why he came upstairs this time? Like, you almost had me until you said that bullshit. He came upstairs this time because there's cameras. Duh. He wants the cameras to see him. That's why he came upstairs this time. Usually he waits. Yeah, because there was no filming going on before. Now there's filming. That's why he came upstairs. If you didn't know that, then girl, I don't know what to tell you. This is why I don't be believing you, because it's like, come on now. But I really hate to see a woman be down bad because of a man. Like, girl. And then you know what else pissed me off? Okay, you know what else got on my nerves? When he was saying, oh, Drew doesn't even pay any bills. The least she could do is pay the bill for the exterminator. Something about that just felt like a lie to me. I don't know this to be true. I'm just saying what it felt like to me, how it landed on me. Ralph seems like one of those men that takes all the credit for taking care of the, you know, the financials. Oh, I take care of everybody in here. I pay all the bills. I'm doing all this. I'm bringing all the money in. But really behind the scenes, he using your money to take care of all the expenses. That's what it's giving. He puffing up his chest, like beating his chest like he dude. He that man. He taking care of everything. He big daddy, but I don't believe it. I'm not buying it. I feel like, you know, I feel like he's taking Drew's money and, you know, I'm sure he makes his own money too, right? He's in tech or whatever. But I also feel like he be putting his hands in Drew's money as well. This is what it looked like to me. As for Shamia in this song, I'm excited that she's excited about it. You know, it's looking like that's the only real reason she came on this show. Well, not only real reason she came on the show. Let me not say it like that. But I feel like you don't really have nothing to gain from this show except for maybe the platform for your music. Because, girl, you live in a nice life without any of this. You could just not even be on the show. But I think the reason that she is excited to be a full-time housewife this season is because she does get to showcase her music, which is cool. You know, you never know where it's going to take you. She does have a nice voice on her. As far as Portia, I just think Portia's childish. I don't want to believe that Portia is being hateful to her best friend. Like, if that's what it is, then that's what it is. But I really feel like Portia's being childish. She cannot stand when the attention is not on her. And people like that get on my nerves. People like that really get on my nerves. I think she didn't know that Shamia was going to debut her song. And she got nervous. She didn't know what to do with herself. So she started saying dumb shit, talking about something. That's Drew. That's Drew. That's you? That don't sound like you. Are you on the song? Like, shut up. See, that is one of Portia's biggest issues. Sometimes Portia gets carried away and she don't know when to shut up. Okay? May I direct you guys back to season 6 when they were on that Savannah trip. And it was in that church. I believe it was the church. Remember that scene? They were talking about the civil rights movement and all the history, all the black history in that town, in that space, in that church, and all the things. Y'all remember. I think y'all know where I'm going. And Portia points out how she was able to march with her grandfather when she was a little girl. And they were protesting something. And you know, there was some haters throwing stones at them. And she was like, I was a little girl and they was throwing stones at me. And I remember this. And it was just like, oh, it was a nice moment, right? Hosea Williams' granddaughter is, you know, like, it was a nice moment. But the moment was over. And the conversation shifted. But because Portia likes having the attention on her at all times, she couldn't let that go. She had to keep talking because she don't know when to shut up. And that's why she said that stupid shit she said, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Who's driving the train? It's not electric like we have now. That's what she did to Shamia in this moment. She needs she enjoys having the attention on her, the spotlight on her. And when Shamia had the spotlight on her for that brief moment, she couldn't just shut up. She can just shut up. She can just say, oh, I like it. Just shut up. That's all you have to say. I like it. Later on, if you're confused, then you never need to ask. You don't need to ask. Because what do you, like, you didn't even need to ask her nothing. I thought that was Drew. You didn't need to say none of that. Just shut up and say, girl, I like it. That's it. But, you know, it's Portia. She on Portia. I did enjoy, however, the scene with Shamia and Portia when they went out and they were catching up and they was talking. And I don't know, I ain't never been in a situation exactly, but I imagine this is not what Portia planned, okay? I think Portia really thought her and Dennis were gonna have this fairy tale. They was gonna be married, they was gonna have a baby, and they was gonna live their life, right? Shamia has that. She has her man and her baby. She has challenges, but her daughter at least has the stability of mommy and daddy are together. They live comfortably. She doesn't have to worry about moving, and she don't have to worry about all this stuff that Pilar has to worry about. And I know that Shamia feels bad for Portia. And that's why she says she's overlooking a lot of the things that Portia does. I'm really trying to hold my remarks because I want to see why they're in the space that they're in right now. Like, is Shamia going to constantly be having your back, and then Portia, you just going to constantly keep letting her down? If that's the case, then, I mean, I guess they have to give. I mean, Shamia got to stand up for herself at some point. But when I say I'm so annoyed by everybody keeps saying, you know, people keep trying to attack their friendship, and I don't like that. Like, if it's going to fall apart, let them, you know, let them handle that. They're going to fall apart and not be best friends anymore. Let them figure that out. But everybody putting their 2 cents in, like with, what's the chick name? I don't know, I mean to disrespect her like that. Angela. When Angela was like, Shamia, you keep taking up for Portia. I don't like that. If their friendship got to end, then okay. But I don't like the added, you know, I don't like all of that. As much as I was pissed off with Giselle and Robin, I have never been one of the people that wants to see them break up. Now, they got some stuff with them. But I just, let people live. Leave people alone. But anyways. Okay, so this peace brunch, it was everything but peaceful. It was really nice. It was cute. Kelly girl, this our second event this season? Yes, girl. I like this. I understand that Britt is not coming off as likable. I'm not really sitting here a fan of Britt either, because she was pissing me off as well. But at the same time, most of us don't know how that girl is feeling. Like, that girl is humiliated. That girl is embarrassed. She don't know how to feel. I told y'all what I think happened last week, so I don't want to go back there again. But what I think happened was production was putting pressure on Britt to have a moment, right? She's cute. She has a husband. She has a nice house. She has money. She's bringing luxury. But what else? She's really just giving us this Barbie doll personality. Like, there's not much there. And I think that they probably put pressure on her to get a rise out of Kenya. They love an activated Kenya, right? The people love when Kenya is activated. As long as you're not the target of her, you know, her wrath, they love her activated. And I really think that they set Britt up for that. And Britt, I don't think she really knew what she was getting herself into. That's why I don't believe she's a fan of the show. I don't believe she studied the show. Because if she did, she would know better than to go after Kenya. Right? I do think that they set her up. But I also feel like Kenya went too far. I do. Kenya easily could have peeped game and said, oh, I know what y'all are trying to do, and I'm going to beat y'all at y'all own game. She could have took the girl out for lunch and said, girl, let's talk. What's the problem? Or she didn't even have to do all of that. I think that Britt is easy, like, and not to be funny, but I think she's easy. I think if Kenya would have just gone up to her and said, hey, girl, what's up? You look cute today. I like what you got on. Give me a hug. She would have had to drop this whole Kenya don't like me thing. She would have had to drop it. She would have. She could have disarmed her, and it would have been a totally different season. And she don't have to do it. Don't get me wrong. But it's just kind of like, it would have been nice to see. I mean, it would have just been nice, but it didn't happen. But anyways, production wanted to activate Kenya. They wanted Britt to provoke a moment from her. And instead, well, they got a moment for her. They did. It's just not the moment that they were expecting. The reason I can give Britt so much grace is because I've been watching these shows for a long time. And I know nonsense when I see it. And I really feel like they are gassing this girl to do a lot of the stuff that she was doing. Oh, she's been mean to me from day one. Oh, she's this. I really feel like she has been, you know, like, girl, this is what you need to say. This is what you need to do. Okay, girl, she didn't embarrass you, girl. You need to go out there and make the people feel bad for you. You need to milk this moment. Like, I feel like she's being coached. Much like how Mia was being coached, I feel like she's being coached and said, hey, do it this way and say this and do this and do this. And it's blowing up in her face. And I have empathy for her because this is her first time. Like, she ain't never done Housewives before. She don't know how this goes. She has been trying to get on reality TV for a long time. And I feel like that desperation is being used against her. They've used her desire to be on reality TV to get her to do dumb stuff. And girl, this is just not working out in your favor. But I feel bad for her because I know that if I put this together, I know Kenya knows what's going on too. She just don't care. And she don't have to. I'm not saying she has to. But it's just like, it would have been nice if Kenya would have been like, I see what y'all trying to do, but I'm going to reverse Uno on y'all. I'm going to have this girl kissing my ass and y'all going to be looking down. Like, it could have, it's just, it could have been a lot of things, but it's just what it is, you know? Angela and Britt bumping heads. I get it. Nobody wants to feel like you know, being talked down to or you getting punked. Britt expecting everyone to hate Kenya after what happened. I don't know where she got that from. Like, I don't know why she would think that. You don't know these women. None of these girls are your friends. Girl, bye. Like, I don't know where you was going with that one. That one, you on your own with that. You can't dictate to nobody who they should speak to and who they shouldn't speak to. That's insane. That's crazy to me. So her having this expectation of, oh, you guys been talking to Kenya? This is how I know she don't know no better. This is how I know, because it's like, what would make you think, girl, I don't know. I'm not mad at Angela for checking her, because you can't talk to me crazy. You can't talk to me and say whatever you want. Now, am I mad at Britt for like egging it on and saying, oh my gosh, she's ruined my life and she's ruined this and she's ruined that? No, because that's what y'all do on Housewives. When Kenya, remember the situation with the cookie lady? Kenya was upset that Tanya showed everyone that she wore a wig. And she said that Tanya was trying to destroy her business. Her showing the wig was going to damage Kenya Moore hair care because people shouldn't know she's wearing wigs. This is the same type of bullshit. That's what y'all do on these shows. That's what y'all do. Y'all lie. Y'all over-exaggerate. Y'all do the most. So do I feel a way about her saying, oh, she cost me my license? I don't, because y'all all do this. Y'all all lie. Y'all all. And I think that at the end of the day, that is the reason why Bravo did not fire her after making those remarks, because y'all all do the same stuff. It's just different scenarios, but y'all do pretty much the same thing. But then y'all always want to stand on your high horse, and it's just like, you ain't better than her, because y'all all do the same stuff. As far as them not taking the threat serious, I personally didn't like that she threatened Kenya. I didn't like what she said. If I was in the middle of, you know, I'm out exposed to the world and you talking about gunplay, I don't like that. Or having a gun, I don't like that. I don't like that. So I was with Kenya with like, I don't like this girl. Where did she come from? And why is she talking to me like that? I got that. But if I'm production, if I'm Bravo, the moment I hear Kenya say, I want her to do something to me so that she can be fired, I'm no longer taking your concerns serious. I now know that you're full of crap. You're not scared, and you just want to throw your weight around. So I don't blame them for not firing her. Okay? That's one thing. The next thing is these people have footage of all of you threatening one another. Drew came on the show. Didn't she say she was going to ram somebody's head through the gates? Ain't that what she told LaToya Forever? The last time I got into it with somebody, I rammed their head through the gate. Didn't she say that? Candy was like, I will drag you with this. Like, all of you have threatened one another. Most of the threats are wolf tickets. They're empty threats. Most of you guys have been on this show. Y'all have threatened one another. Kenya, your husband threatened your life on this show while holding your newborn. You ain't stopped filming with him. You didn't kick him off the show. You didn't go to the file divorce for him. He ended up filing divorce on you. So you cannot even be mad with them for not taking a threat serious. As we speak, every chance they get, they try to get Phaedra and Portia to say that they want Kim Zolciak back on the show. Her husband actually brought a firearm to Reunion for you women. And they still trying to get her on the show. You think they care about Britt Eady saying she had a pistol? When Mark said, next time we're going to leave mommy at the bottom of the pool. Kenya, you went home with that man. You slept in the same bed with him. You closed your eyes. You turned your back to that man. Y'all stayed in the same house. If you were not afraid, because that dude had access to you. You weren't afraid of that. And I'm not trying to throw that in her face. I'm just trying to say the fact that, oh, she threatened me. I just feel like I understand where Kenya was coming from, but I just feel like that's just, the more I think of it, the more I feel like, girl, that's some BS. The more I think, because every time I think of it, I think of another threat that someone else made. I remember Eva made threats. Eva. Didn't she say she was going to meet somebody in the back alley, that she was from Normandy in some place? All of you women make threats on this show. So it's just like, child, I guess. You can't tell me I'm afraid of so-and-so, but I'm going to provoke them in the worst way possible. If you was truly afraid, you wouldn't have done that. You would really be looking over your shoulder at this point. And then my thing is, that's just a null and void even excuse, because clearly she wasn't going to do you nothing, because she has all the reason now to want to do something to you, and she still ain't done nothing to you. So that just goes to show that her threat was an empty threat. So everybody's saying, well, she was fired after the threat, then the whole thing wouldn't have never gone down. I don't know. I'm really not trying to sit here and defend Britt like this, because she's annoying too. Like, she hard-headed. Let me not say she hard-headed, because she's probably just doing what production has told her to do. But the way she was going back and forth with Angela, and she was like, you need to read the room. You need to read the room. You need to read the room. You, like, take 2 seconds to say, damn, nobody's on the same page with me. Maybe I need to calm down. I don't think she deserved what Kenya did to her, though. I don't. But at the same time, girl, you need to learn. You need to, like, you need to realize that you're at the disadvantage and you're not helping your case. When she said Angela needed to read the room, no, baby, you need to read the room. You need to read the outside. That's what she... I don't know. This show is not about to drive me crazy, okay? I'm getting to the point where I don't care. I still stand on what I say. I feel bad that Kenya was threatened in that moment. I didn't like it. I didn't agree with that. But what she did as a response to Britt, I didn't like that, and I didn't agree with that. Bravo firing Kenya, I mean, I don't feel like I'm taking it that serious, because I just don't even think that the firing is going to last. So I feel like it's very possible that they might bring her right back. Now, she better keep it cute on this YouTube thing that she's trying to do. But at this point, I'm not taking none of these people serious. I'm just not. I'm not. But yeah, I talked a lot today. But yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching, you guys.